After 3 years of full-time RVing,
What an adventure.
we find ourselves back in a house. Our RV has been taken, and this marks the end of one chapter.
And the beginning of another.
We can't let these people down.
Welcome back to the RV Odd Couple. My name is John.
And I'm Mercedes, and long story short...
We have to change this somewhere, I think.
Well, we
sold all of our possessions in pursuit of freedom, independence, and adventure because life is so short, but...
To RV full-time, but now we're not RVing full-time?
Yeah, we've been RVing for 3 full years now, and we just had somebody come and take our RV from us.
So there's a lot to discuss here, and in this video, I've tried to divide it into 4 neat sections that you're totally gonna obliterate. But I have 4 neat sections that I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the mass exodus of RVers and also the trend of YouTubers buying campgrounds. The next thing I want to talk about is why the heck are we back in a house and what that has been like, because it's been a really weird adjustment. It hasn't all been, you'd think, oh, it's going to be an easy adjustment. No. Yeah. The next thing we want to talk about is who the heck took our RV and why, and what are they doing with it?
We had 24 hours notice that they were coming to get our RV.
See, you're already ruining my pretty little...
Well, in 24 hours, we had to empty the RV. We had to get all the contents into the Thunder Canyon office, and our lives have been upside down ever since.
Our lives have been upside down since we started RVing full-time. Okay?
Since our channel took off.
Yeah, let's just call it what it is. But then the 4th category is where we go from here. So I think the first thing I'd like to talk about is there's this weird trend, this mass exodus. I'm seeing it all over social media.
For full-time RVers.
Well, full-time RVers.
People that have been doing this for years are kind of getting out of it.
They're getting out of it. They're getting stationary. I do think the insanity of 2020 leading into 2021, hopefully not into 2022, I think that's led to it.
It's been wearing on people.
Well, and I'm scrolling through social media, and I'm just seeing these people that are selling their fully functional fifth wheels with the truck.
Yeah.
It's like a package sale designed for a family or for someone that's going to set off full time. Yeah.
Typically for full-time families, a fifth wheel is the best way to go because there's more room for living space. And so these people are basically selling their RV and their truck as combos together.
And I don't blame them because RVing isn't what it used to be. I mean, you have the inflation, you have the campgrounds, you have the insanity of
finding a place to stay. And the last couple of years since the panorama started, things have been upside down, not just for everyone, but also for RVers. And a lot of people set out just a couple of years ago. They sold all their stuff. They jumped in. They had 3-4 kids.
Yeah.
They started out in the RV lifestyle. They got freedom, independence, and adventure, but they also got a lot that they weren't expecting.
And I would not judge your experience of full-time RVing in the 2020s as opposed to full-time RVing in the 20-teens. And I do think everything's cyclical in nature. I don't think this is permanent, but there's just a weird trend that I think needs to be addressed because I see that happening in our lives as well.
And we don't think that the RV trend is going to go off a cliff. We think it's going to actually do good again in 2022. There's thousands of people out there, families that hit the road, thought they were going to get a YouTube channel started and they were just going to...
It'll be so easy.
It'll be so easy, and it's not. It's not that easy, and it becomes a little bit more difficult when you're living on the road full time with children.
Yeah.
It changes the whole game. We've got one
game
kid.
Changer.
Yep, we got one kid, and that was a challenge. We've met people with one guy had 12 kids living in an RV. Remember that? That was insanity.
I know. It was pretty nuts. But the point being that RVing is changing and you're not able to really set out and get that freedom. You almost have to have planned freedom. Like when you schedule spontaneity and it's no longer spontaneous, that's kind of what's happening, especially if you're going for long term and you got kids involved, it changes the game.
Yeah. And with that said, we don't think there's going to be a big change in the trend of new people coming in and RVing.
They're just going to RV differently.
They're going to RV differently. I don't think you're going to see a lot of full-timers coming in. I think what you're going to see is an exodus of full-timers that have been doing this for a year or two, and it's not quite what they thought it was. With that said, we love the RV lifestyle. Our adventure has been amazing.
Yeah, but we're going to tell you at the end. We're going to tell you at the end what our plans are.
Okay, we'll wait.
We gotta.
Sorry.
Well, I need to give you guys a reason to keep watching because I have so much I want to say, and if we just spill the beans at the beginning, there's a lot going on. Yeah. So the next trend is, what's the deal with YouTubers buying campgrounds? What weirdos? I mean, do they not realize that buying a campground is like, why would you do that to yourself? Speaking from personal experience, of course. But I think we need to put a firm boundary.
Yeah.
So when we purchased this campground, we said, hey guys, you want to come join us? Let's do this together, because our people put us where we're at. And we firmly believe that
RV Odd Squad.
The RV Odd Squad, our people. And we would not have a channel without our people, right? They're the decision makers. They're the ones that we serve, not the other way around. Yeah. However, we created an advisory board and a founders group, and those are the people that are really getting in the nitty gritty and helping us with this adventure. And we are doing a private offering to them as far as campground ownership, and it's a private offering. It's just for them. But I need to express this to you because we still have people that are coming on the premises to visit. And that is technically trespassing in a construction zone. At the moment, only advisory board and founders can come on the premises, and that's provided that they have told us in advance.
Yep.
We can't have people just showing up.
We've got 3 to 6, so some days a dozen people just wandering out here. We got construction traffic going on.
And it's hard because they're good people.
Yeah, and most of the people are good people. They want to come, they want to see what we're doing here. But the place right now is in the peak of construction.
It's a
You
danger.
can't just stop by. Mercedes and I, we are so busy all the time. Believe it or not, even 5 minutes is a loss for us.
Because it takes you off of when you're on track doing something and then you get off track and you have to get back on track again. It takes you 10 minutes to get back on track.
Right.
And so we're, especially being stationary and you guys knowing where we are because y'all have Google, we have to put these firm boundaries up.
Mm-hmm. So please don't visit us at Thunder Canyon unless you are an advisory board member or a founder, those who have helped us building Thunder Canyon.
Who has already scheduled it.
Yep. And believe it or not, we're coming up on 6 months since we landed on this adventure. And I'd like to talk about something else. I think we're trendsetters. I think you and I have set some trends. We bought a campground, now 2 other channels are buying a campground. For the first 14 months of our channel, we never missed a comment, more than 100,000 comments. And that forced other YouTubers to start focusing on their comments,
You're
right? Because they thought,
commenters.
yeah, so you're welcome, guys. And then finally, we set out, Mercedes and I paid consultants to teach us how to do this, and we gave the blueprint free. We gave a web address with a 1-hour video telling everyone how we do it. And what happened was all the bigger channels started copying our blueprint, which I think it's a blessing because we've always given away what we've learned freely, and we know that God takes care of the rest.
Well, creativity is not a limited resource, and we know that we'll continue to get.
There's an abundance of so much, so much in God's world.
But you're welcome, people.
You're welcome. All you channels that now copy the blueprint, it works. It works.
This is why they don't like us, because we're like in your face and we're like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
No, I think it's funny because people love to hate us, but we do add some good things to the RV world.
Yeah, we brought some good things to the RV world. We came out of nowhere 3 years ago. Our channel just exploded.
We're so blessed.
And we brought some stuff to the table that others didn't before we had come in.
Well, even like our campground, like who the heck else? A lot of people are buying campgrounds, but it's their campground. Who the heck else is saying, okay, our people, how about you join us in owning it?
Yes.
How about you get, and I'm not going to talk because it's private, but the point is that like, we mean it when we say we love our people and we do things with our people that other people wouldn't do.
Yeah, it's not me and Mercedes. This is an RV Odd Squad membership campground. We're trying to do something nobody's ever done before in the campground space. We're trying to keep this thing private. And right now we've got about 167 members who have given their blood, sweat, tears, and a little bit of money to help us get this to realize this dream and this vision that God put in my heart 6 months ago.
Well, and I want to touch on that because it's like there's a lot of memberships out there as far as campground memberships. But what would it look like if you actually owned the campground? What kind of a camper would you be? How would you take care of your camping spot if you actually had a piece of owning that?
Yeah, if you had skin in the game.
If you had skin in the game. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But just please, guys, when we open the campground, we'll let you know when it's open. At the moment, it's only open to founders and advisory board members. And if you want to find out more about that, it's in the link below. But we have to put that boundary up because being that we're stationary, at least for the winter,
Yeah, you just please stay away. We will open hopefully springtime of 2022.
We'll let you know though.
We'll let you know. But we've got a lot of work to do. Some days we think we bit off a little more than we can chew because we're so exhausted.
We know we bit off a lot more than we can chew.
A lot more than we can chew. But thank God for the RV Out Squad. We're trying to do something else in the RV space nobody's ever done before. And that is to compete with the likes of 1,000 trails. Except the difference will be that our members will actually own the campground. What we're trying to do at Thunder Canyon is build almost like a little, what do they call it, an incubator? Thunder Canyon's kind of an incubator, and we're all kind of making this up as we go along. We're praying through, and we're trying to figure out how do we do this, Nobody's ever done this before. But our hope is to make Thunder Canyon work, and then to do this again, to duplicate what we're doing at Thunder Canyon in other places around the country, so that families will have a beautiful place to camp with like-minded RVers.
That's safe and secure.
And your neighbors are all good. And that's what we're trying to build.
Yeah, with the pride of ownership.
Yes.
Because you take care of things better when you own it. Which this kind of leads us into the point about the house. Why are we in a house? And this is not something that I'm grateful to have a safe place to stay. Everything that we're experiencing is happening for us, not against us.
Amen.
I am not exactly wanting to be in a house right now, but given that next week it's going to be in the teens, I'm grateful to be in a house instead of an RV, make no mistake, but I just don't want my wings clipped.
Yeah, just a heads up, guys. We set out RVing to chase 70 degrees.
Yeah, not teens.
Yeah, living in an RV in the freezing cold is not an easy adventure.
And with the kid,
it comes with a ton of challenges.
Yeah.
Right? And so since we got the campground, we didn't plan on spending winters in the top of a mountain in Alabama where it still gets down into the teens. Yeah. Right? And so we're at this point, we love the RV lifestyle, but we had an RV, it needed repairs. The roof needed to be done. We hired a hotshot guy to come get the RV, bring it up to Indiana so that the proper repairs can get done in this. And we're so blessed because we have a place to stay while this is going on. But I'll tell you something, it's been really strange living in a house right now after living in an RV for 3 years. Just simple things like, in the RV, you're going to brush your teeth. You're cognizant of how much water you're using. Yeah. When's the last time I emptied my tanks? All those types of things. It's just, you take this stuff for granted when you live in a regular house. We've got incredible internet now,
Well, but also when you use appliances, if I make a coffee with the Keurig, I'm like, I better make sure the microwave's not on. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm in a house, it's okay.
Right.
I find myself, I feel a little bit like a homemaker because I am spending at least a couple hours a day between the unpacking and the cleaning.
Yeah, Mercedes is starting to nest, guys, and we've got to get our RV back as soon as possible because if she starts to dig in here, I might not be able to get her back out on the road to RV because we don't want to stop RVing. We want to continue to RV.
Well, and it's not so much that I'm nesting, it's that we need order in the place that we live. Like, you cannot wake up to disorder and function effectively.
You live with me. There is no order.
That's true. You are walking disorder. With that said,
walking disorder.
It is. It's a factual statement, but you need to have a clean, secure environment. And with a kid, I could not imagine being in the teens in an RV long term with a child.
One of the challenges of camping in the wintertime in an RV is they're just not insulated very good, right? And so it's a balance. You want to run your propane in your RV, but you also want to use some space heat. You can't just use one or the other. It's kind of a mixture. And when you're running space heaters in an RV, you've got to be super careful not to turn the coffee pot on or not to run this appliance or that appliance because things are going to pop. And so in the house, we have not had to worry about that.
That's weird.
But the other weird thing is we don't have any heat in this house right now.
Yeah.
So we're running space heaters in the house because it's got an old wood stove which we're excited to use. We just ordered a couple of cords. They're not cords here in Alabama, they're ricks. We ordered a couple of ricks of wood, but we're having a really hard time getting a chimney sweep to come out and check that fireplace, make sure it's good. So right now we're running off space heaters in the house, which is kind of like we would do in the RV, but we got everything we need and we're very, very comfortable.
The space heaters in the house work a little bit better than an RV because the heat doesn't escape the walls.
Yeah, we got 4.5-inch walls here that are insulated, so a little bit better.
Yeah, and having a big kitchen is really nice. There's there's a lot of things that are nice, but you know, the first night that we stayed in the house,
it was weird.
It was not.
Neither one of us slept.
We were under so much pressure to move out of the RV so quickly that we didn't realize what a big change it was, and it kind of made me feel afraid. I felt like, you know how in life you make little decisions at the time they seem really little, and they end up being huge decisions that all of a sudden set your life on one course instead of another. And I had like this moment that, okay, I'm telling myself we're just going to be in here just for the winter because our RV
is getting fixed.
The ceiling, the roof has Gorilla Tape. It's too cold. We need to, first things first, people, right? But what if this is a decision that impacts so much more than what I even realize at the moment? Right.
What if we live here forever
and never leave? And that is a little scary to me.
And it's not going to happen because Thunder Canyon is the first piece of a larger idea that we feel it's a mission that we're on.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first piece of it. And so once we get this one developed and we get all the members going and this campground launched, we plan on looking for another campground somewhere. I think the next one will be in Florida, though.
Yeah.
The next campground will be in Florida.
Southern Arizona.
Southern Arizona, right.
Yeah.
Southern, probably not California, but definitely Southern Arizona.
Yeah, there needs to be a little
One of
more.
the challenges that we had is that we don't have the time with everything going on to bring our RV up to Indiana. So we reached out to a hotshot company and said, hey, we need to get you on the schedule to take our RV and get it north. And then one day we get a phone call and we had 48 hours notice to get our rig completely emptied out so that they could drive it up to Indiana, which is 12 hours from where we are. And the new roof and the improvements, the repairs on our RV could be done. But we only had 2 days notice. It was insanity. It was right before Christmas. Everything was, it was nuts. It was crazy. And then once we were done, Christmas was upon us. And so everything was unorganized. Mercedes is a neat freak. She needs everything organized.
I like order. I like to be surrounded by order.
Yeah, she likes order, which means that's one of the reasons it's hard to live with me, right? Because I am disorderly.
Yeah, I think, well, it's just that you're chaotic, but he likes order. He just doesn't like to create order.
Yeah, I like someone creating order for me.
You like it when someone
Mercedes
else
creates
order around you. He does thrive when things are clear spaces and neat and he can focus. It's just, the other thing when moving, I realized I'm kind of a hoarder myself. Like, why do I have 10 different types of large things of body mist and body lotion, the scented ones that are like, oh, so yummy smelling? Like, why do I have all of these beauty products when we live in an RV?
And I too am guilty, right? I had thought I'd give most of my tools to my older son, Shane. I couldn't believe how many tools I still had on the RV.
And you gave Shane a lot of tools, but you just had so many.
With that said, we had more toys for Sage in our RV
She's
than
the biggest
anything
hoarder
else.
Of them all. Of
right.
all the hoarders, our
half the
6-year-old child.
space, the storage space in our RV was space for Sage's toys.
I'm
which,
struggling.
Yeah.
No, it is a struggle. And now I feel like a homemaker, which is fantastic. It's a great joy to be able to experience this. But, humans are like water. You pour water in a glass and it occupies however much space is available. And that's how humans are too. If I'm in a small glass, an RV glass, I take up less space. But this house glass, I'm like, I can't get more stuff. I need simple, less is more. And I'm struggling.
Yeah, we're tired. And we've been doing this for 6 months now. Thunder Canyon, the first few months was completely exciting. This place is gorgeous, you guys. We really looked at it as a gift from God.
Yeah.
But all the excitement and the planning and the dreaming is behind us. Now it's the doing.
The rubber meets
the action. The rubber has met the road. And we're busy 19, 20 hours a day. We don't sleep much.
Yeah.
And that first night that we left the RV and slept in a house for the first time in 3 years,
we
were both uncomfortable. We missed our RV. Sage misses our RV. What'd you say?
I need my RV.
You need your RV?
Yeah, she wants it
for
back.
the first few days, she's like, I want my RV back. I want my RV back. But now all of a sudden, Sage is starting to, we're asking, hey, you still want to move back in the RV? And she's like, no, I like the house. I like the house. We've given our lives to this entire thing. We have no idea what's next, but we're so grateful and blessed by the community that we've built with the RV Odd Squad, and we're super excited to see where this is in 6 months or a year.
Well, that brings us to the last point.
Which is?
The last bucket, because we got to keep
orderly.
this organized.
Orderly,
people.
yes.
Organized people.
Shut up, John. Keep it orderly.
That comment doesn't go in this box. It goes in a different box. All right. So where we go from here?
Our rig's getting repaired.
Are we full-time RVers?
Right. And the answer is...
I think we're seasonal.
I don't know.
Moment.
We don't know.
But I know that this winter we're not going to be in an RV.
Well, we're in this winter. We're responsible for being here at Thunder Canyon and developing the campground.
We're
hoping
custodians.
to have.
We're stewards.
We're putting in 52 full-service 50-amp sites. We're working on that. There's construction going on everywhere. New roads going in, new infrastructure, new electricity and plumbing, and we're working on flipping over and getting 4 cottages open. We're trying to do this by spring 2023. So 2022, spring 2022 is when we're hoping to grand open this thing. But there's a lot of work here. There's a lot of work to do, and this is where God wants us right now. No one else is going to do this with as much love and the fortitude that we have to do it.
Well, that's the thing, is that you don't get to just say, I got a dream, and like invite everyone to this crazy dream and get everyone on this mission and then leave.
And we
started this, we got to finish it.
Yeah, and we've had some days, guys. This has won on our marriage. We've had some tough days since we've started this project. We've had some really high days and some really low days. We're looking forward to realizing this dream, but there's days where we feel like getting in the RV and taking off and saying, let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just scary. A lot of work.
Well, it's scary, and also there's a lot of pressure because we've invited other people to be a part of this. We feel responsible.
Yeah, we can't let the RV Odd Squad down.
We can't let our people down.
Yeah, people have already brought their time, their labor, and some of their money. They're helping us buy this thing. We're really, truly doing this as a group, together as a group.
With our subscribers. That's
With
nuts.
our subscribers. Our subscribers now own a campground, guys. Yeah. But what the other thing that's really cool about it is all our subscribers will benefit from the campground. And ultimately, Thunder Canyon will be enjoyed by all our members, even those that don't have the means that some of our other members do.
And some people are going to have ownership to it, and other people are going to be able to enjoy it because someone else has foot the bill for the full amp, 50
those
amp
of us
sites
who
and
do
stuff.
have the means actually have put it in as a group with the same idea in mind of keeping this thing as the spiritual cause, as the highest ideal.
That we've had people that are not in a place necessarily to, they're not in a place to own but they've given donations to the cause. And one in particular, Ken, I'm calling you out.
Oh, Ken Switzer, God bless you, Ken. We were sitting around the table talking about how to figure all this out and have it a membership. And then we get a letter from Ken Switzer. And Mercedes and I opens the letter, and we had to have somebody else finish reading the letter because
we just started bawling.
We started bawling.
Ken's in his 70s. He's probably never going to RV. His wife passed away, and he just wants to support us because he sees the vision. He sees where it's going. I think Carolyn needs a prayer bench in the prayer garden. That's what I want to do with what you...
The money you send. Guys, the RV Odd Squad is a group of amazing people. They love God, family, and the community that we're building.
And he bakes his cookies that are really good.
And Bud.
Yeah, and so we just the humility of it all, that's what we can't let down. Like, we can't let these people down.
No, we can't let anybody down.
Yeah, and this is so much bigger than we are. This is a legacy. Because our channel, like, our time here on this earth is limited and we don't know when it ends. But what is left afterwards, right? And our goal is to give this back to the squad so it can continue with or without us.
Yeah, and believe it, guys, people have reached out and said, oh, man, you got a valuation of $2 million on a piece of land that you had for $750,000. That was never the mission. The mission was to share this community with a lot of other RV Odd Squad members. And that's exactly what we're doing. We have no clear direction, but just an ideal that we're trying to hit.
We have a clear ideal, we don't have a clear path.
Yeah, and so...
The path is what's unfolding in front of us, although we know where our compass is pointed. And so as we navigate this journey, we're gonna be very upfront about this transition and where we're going to and so forth. We are in the market for another RV because how we RV is evolving as well. And we cannot not have an RV. We are the RV odd couple, not the in-a-house odd couple, not the country odd couple. We are the RV odd couple. So RVing is literally and figuratively the vehicle for which we want to live our best lives and take you along with us.
Sage has just bloomed into this beautiful little butterfly. She's no longer a toddler, she's a little girl. and she has seen some of the most beautiful places in the United States of America. We've shared that together. We've got to be there every minute and watch her grow up. That's the greatest gift of RVing. For the past 3 years, we were together all the way through it.
Yeah.
The good times and the bad times.
It's the greatest gift and it's the hardest part.
It's
It's hard being together all the time. Let's not pretend like it isn't. But we are excited to show you the behind the scenes on the campground. There's so much in the remodeling and fixing up phase, and so much has happened. You know, we have some exciting videos coming your way.
Yeah, we've gotten our butts kicked on YouTube for the past 4 months. We used to get 800,000 to 900,000 views per month. Now we're at 250. Since we started talking about God and like-minded and insulting the king. I should have never touched politics, but that's not me.
You're like, as I touch politics again, I should have never done what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're not too concerned about growing at this point. Now we want to make the community we have stronger and stronger and stronger. God, family, friends, community.
And if that is of interest to you, please hit not just the subscribe, but also the bell so that you get the notifications, so that when we do have a video giving you an update on when we're opening, what's new, what's going on, that you get that notification and you'll be in the mix of what's going on. The other thing that would help a lot is if you at least join the free RV Odd Squad and you get the newsletter. That way you'll know what's going on, because we tell our RV Odd Squad in our newsletter first before we share things on YouTube.
Yeah, we have thousands of RV Odd Squad members. Most of them are free members. You just you go with the link below, you become a member of the RV Odd Squad. There is no cost to it. And then we've got our members who really believe in both our founders and our advisory boards that are really not investing in me and Mercedes, but investing in the dream, the vision of what Thunder Canyon, what we're trying to do, which is to make a difference in the world. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do. It's a big, big mission, but we truly believe that with the RV Odd Squad, with God, prayer, all that stuff, this thing is actually possibly going to happen. It's unfolding every day. But if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider hit the subscribe button, hit the notification so you get notifications on our videos. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll see you in the next video.